Sit down, shut up, and listen up. Today we're talking about problems. You've got them, I've got them. Let's get past that. We're on even ground. What we're going to talk about is how do we deal with them? Because no matter how many problems you have, how you deal with them is what actually defines you as a person. It not only defines you as a person, but it's going to define you as a leader. So pay attention, listen up. So one of the main things we have to realize is it's so easy. It's such an easy thing to walk around and pick out problems. We can all do that. That's the easy thing. The hard part is coming up with solutions. That's right. I'm sure you know many people that bring you problems all day long. Oh, this is broken. This isn't working right. Oh, I wish it was this way. I wish it was that way. That's easy. That's the lazy thing. I want to talk to people that come to me and say, hey, here's the problem that I've identified. And guess what? I got a couple of options of solutions. But what do we do when people are not bringing solutions? But we know that there are problems that are there and they need our attention. One of the first things we have to do is practice identification. We have to identify what the actual problem is. Sometimes that's easier said than done. It might take a little work to actually identify clearly and define what the problem is. So you might have to ask a lot of people that are closest to the problem. And the people that are closest to the problem, you'll be amazed. They most likely will come up with your solution. But before we get to solutions, when we're identifying problems, we need to ask ourselves a few questions. How frequently does it happen? Is it a one-off? Okay, we're not going to want to change the entire company because we had a one-off problem that may never happen again. So practice some risk management. How likely is it that this problem is going to continue over and over? Or is it a process problem that stops production? Well, obviously, we need to correct that. So we need to investigate what the problems are. And of course, to backtrack a little bit, once you have that all figured out, what the problem is, how it affects the company, how it affects other workers, and how it affects the people closest to it, well, I would suggest that you interview the people closest to that problem and try to network your way into a situation of solution. Now, so far, hey, if you're still here watching this video, give me a like. Go ahead and subscribe so you get notified every time we do a video. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not always that easy. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, can I solve this issue today? And if you can't, then sometimes you have to wait for the right opportunity to come up with a solution. And let me explain that a little bit further. If you watch the video on how to manage stress, one of the things that I bring up in that video is ask yourself, am I capable of solving this issue right now? Does this issue require my full attention at this particular moment? Has everything stopped because of this problem and it needs to be addressed right away? These are all valid questions, and you have to ask that even in your personal problems. If you're coming up with problems, let's say you're trying to pay bills and you don't have the money, and you're not going to have the money to do this until Friday, and today is Wednesday. Do you put yourself in a sick sense of worry from Wednesday to Friday, knowing that you can't solve your issue until Friday? Well, the same goes for being a leader in an organization. Can you solve it today? Has everything stopped because of this problem? You have to ask these qualifying questions to see where the priority is on where your efforts are going to go. Sometimes solving problems, it's going to take some time. It takes time to interview the people that are closest to it. It takes time to interview everybody that's involved, even the people that are unseen. For instance, if it's something that has to do with a distributor, the logistics of the company, the parts, processes, machinery, all the people that are involved with every component should be addressed and brought into the fold so that you have a clear picture of all the elements that are affecting the problem at hand. Going on a side note though, if someone comes to you that has a problem, make sure that you understand wholeheartedly that that problem might not be big to you, but that problem could be huge to that individual. See how that problem actually relates to the individual. Make a determination of when it should be solved or if it should be solved. And if it happens to be a problem that's associated with emotions and feelings, remember this: That problem is real to that person and you need to address it. I'm not telling you have to fix it. You just need to address it, because in the eyes of that person that's bringing up that problem, there's an emotional and feeling that's attached to it. And you have to realize it's real to that person. Now, when it comes to personal problems, realize this. Everybody on this planet has problems. Everybody's going to have problems tomorrow and the next day and the next day after that. So stop playing the victim. Grow up and get over it. We all have problems. We're all on this earth together. Don't think that you're the only one walking this planet with problems. So get over it right now. And when it comes to leadership in an organization, well, guess what? You kind of signed up for it. You decided to go down the pathway to leadership, and with that comes problems and problem solving. So those skills that you learn in your leadership role also apply in your personal role when it comes to coming up with ways to solve your own problem. The techniques are always the same. So the biggest secret about problem solving, and I'm going to let you in on this only here on Pathway to Leadership. You don't have to have all the solutions, but the smart leader, the intelligent leader, and the great leaders know they surround themselves with the people who have the best skills to come up with those solutions. You don't have to come up with that solution, but make sure you've got people around you that are qualified and have the right skill set to come up with those solutions with you. I didn't say for you, with you. And one last thing, I want to let you know that no matter what solutions are brought to your attention, as silly or insane as they may be, always accept them. You don't have to turn around and use the solution, but you'll be amazed at how many little pieces and parts of a solution that's brought to your attention might be a piece and a part to the grand picture that solves that issue long term and in the future. And one more thing about that. Don't come up with short-term solutions. Short-term solutions are just a band-aid that make the long-term solutions even harder. Hey, I'm John with Pathway to Leadership. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sitting down, shutting up, and listening up. This is really important to me, and I hope it was important to you. So again, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you next time on our live show, where we'll discuss this subject a little bit more further.